Hey, what's up? It's Tati, and I'm so excited. We have finally got the list of episodes for Dark Side of the Ring. They will be back airing on Tuesdays starting on March 30th, so I'm so excited about that. We got the list of 10 episodes for season 4. I started covering at season 3. I did go back and cover season 1, and I'm currently doing season 2, and I'm hoping I can get all those episodes out the way by the time season 4 comes out. So I'm really excited about that. So here's a list of the episodes that we have starting on May 30th. We have Chris Candido and Tammy Sitch episode. We also got Magnum TA, Adrian O'Donis, Doink the Clown, Junkyard Dog, Marty Jannetty. That's going to be a very interesting one. Bam Bam Bigelow, Abdullah the Butcher, Bash at the Beach 2000, and the Graham Family. Now, out of all those episodes, I'm looking forward to them all. However, Chris Candido episode is definitely going to be insane. And also, I do think Marty Jannetty episode will be insane as well. If you follow Marty Jannetty on social media, he is definitely going through some type of mental illness for sure. The things that he will come on social media and post is absolutely insane and doesn't make any sense at all. So we're going to see a lot of crazy shit throughout that episode. Now, I was a little worried about season 4 coming on because season 3, once the Plane Ride from Hell episode aired, people really started showing how much they did not like Dark Side of the Ring, which includes wrestlers and wrestling fans as well. There was a lot of backlash with Tommy Dreamer, with Ric Flair and all that stuff. People were not happy with what happened. It was almost as if people never even heard about this story, which just probably seemed to be the case, that some people just did not know. This is a story that's been told over and over a million times, but I guess the story being put out there on a national scale on cable TV really made the whole thing blow up all over again. And to be honest, I felt like that episode really, how can I say this? Like, people were able to see their wrestlers for who they really are. Like, as much as I love pro wrestling, you gotta just keep in mind that these guys are human too, and they fuck up. And that's pretty much what Dark Side of the Ring does show, is the dark side of wrestling. And I don't think they're doing it in a malicious way so that people can look at wrestling negatively. I think that there's just 2 sides of every story. Well, 3 sides of every story. And they want to, put those stories out there, whether if it's positive or negative. So I do appreciate that. Now, I did think that people were not going to want to be interviewed for the show. And I do think I remember Jim Ross specifically saying that he wanted to keep away from it. But he is one of the people who's going to be on season 4 being interviewed. So I'm really glad to see him. He knows a lot about wrestling. And also he was there for a lot of things. Also, we do have Jim Cornette who's going to be there as well. Now, I know I've said this before, I am not a fan of Jim Cornette. However, he has so much wrestling knowledge. I could listen to him talk about the facts all day. Just not really a fan of his opinions. But there are some topics that I wish that they would have had for season 4. So one of the topics that I thought would be part of season 4 would be about Chris Adams. Now, throughout Tales from the Territories, they mentioned him in at least 3 episodes, maybe more, but no one really got in depth of any topics about him. They would talk about him for maybe 30 seconds to a minute or whatnot. And I thought that maybe they were doing that because they were going to have an episode about him for season 4 Dark Side of the Ring. Unfortunately, that does not seem to be the case. So if they do have a season 5, I'm pretty sure that they'll do an episode on Chris Adams. Another thing was Vince McMahon. I feel like they dropped the ball on that stupid documentary that they did on Vince McMahon. They dropped the ball because really what they did was took clips of Dark Side of the Ring from various episodes and just put them all together and made it about Vince McMahon. And I felt that was so underwhelming. I couldn't even believe that they even did that. Now, I felt like as far as them exposing him or showing the dark side of Vince McMahon, they barely did that, so they can still do a episode just about Vince McMahon, but I probably would have saved that for like season 5 or so, because there are still some information that has yet to be released as far as, you know, extortion or any of that sexual abuse stuff that was going on. So I guess they can hold off on something like that. Now, one of the episodes they do have will be on Abdullah the Butcher. That one right there, I'm not surprised about. However, when they did the episode on Bruiser Brody, I felt like he was being honest about things. So now we're going to have an episode of Abdullah the Butcher, and I feel like he's going to be dishonest about things as well. Specifically about the hepatitis C situation. He had hepatitis C. He knew he had it and infected other wrestlers with that. I wonder if this is something that he's going to want to elaborate on. He's probably going to be like, no comment or whatever. I just kind of like, I like him, but I do find him to be a little dishonest about things. And if you're going to talk about certain topics, whether it's about yourself or another wrestler or whatever, just be honest, you know, especially people knew about the hepatitis C situation. So what you gonna do now? He was already sued for it and all that stuff. Why not go into details about what happened? Other than that, I'm really looking forward to it. I really feel like they do a really good job with putting these stories together. I'm just hoping that they don't hold back about information, so they don't feel the backlash like they did, you know, last year with season 3. To be honest, I think they did a really good job with season 3. It's just that people were so upset that their favorite heroes were being talked badly about, and they couldn't handle that information and whatnot. So what? A lot of people love Ric Flair, but he's a fucking asshole, and everybody knows it, and there's no problem with people actually bringing that out to light. Now, when it comes to these episodes, some of my favorites were definitely about Bruiser Brody. That's one of my favorites. The Von Erichs was one of my favorite. XPW actually was one of my favorite as well. And I kind of wish they would do a part 2, because I know for a fact there were some things that were not said that they could have elaborated on and talked about. So they can definitely do a part 2 about that. There's just like a lot of things that when it comes to pro wrestling, I really, really enjoy. But I still think that even though everything is not all peaches and cream, we can still talk about the things that, you know, weren't so positive in this world. And trust me, there's been a lot of negative things behind the scene when it comes to pro wrestling, even today. You know, we're seeing things going on right now with AEW and them backstage or whatnot. And I do feel like WWE have those issues too, but they are more secretive about what's going on back there, because obviously Vince McMahon has been doing this for a long time and has been able to whatever issues is going on back there, to just solve it back there and not let these dirt sheets and all these people get hold of these stories and put them out in the public. So I do feel like WWE does have issues or whatnot. And I know a lot of people said they want to see a Velveteen Dream story come to light. I feel like it's still a little bit too early for that. So anything that's been like 10 plus years ago and earlier are safe to put out there. But like the whole Vince McMahon thing is still an ongoing situation, but they could have still had an episode definitely going over all the shitty things that he has definitely done. And another thing too is that Tales from the Territories was actually produced by Dwayne Johnson, and he has a relationship with WWE, so that might be something that comes to play with season 4, where maybe they might want to hold back on exposing certain types of things when it comes to WWE, and I really hope that's not the case, because that's going to take away from the story that they're telling. Guys, thanks so much for watching my video. I will finish review Dark Side of the Ring season 2. I did start with the first Chris Benoit episode. I'll finish that, but I'll finish out the rest of the season before season 4 comes out. If you want to see my other reviews of season 1 and season 3, I do have them organized on the playlist. So if you want to go check those out, you can check those out. So I will be reviewing these episodes every night that they come out. And guys, let me know down below what you guys want to see the most out of all the episodes that were announced, and what episodes do you think that they should have had this season or in the future. Guys, thanks for watching. I'll be back later with my review for Dynamite.